This little swirly doodad is raising all sorts of questions in the Pokemon community right now. You see, ever since Pokemon X and Y, every Japanese Pokemon logo has had the new gimmick symbol in its logo. X and Y had the Mega Evolution symbol, Oraz had the Primal Evolution spheres, Sun and Moon had the Z crystals, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon had the Ultra Necrozma thing, etc. And now we have this. It's a Pokeball with red and blue and 3 spinning circles within it. What is it? Well, there are already loads of speculative theories and ideas going around the internet, ranging from the simple to the overly complex. And I've got my own to add to that. So today, we're going to compile a bunch of these theories together, explain what it means for Pokemon and possibly the meta, and also add in some of our own. Gnoggin.net is the coolest merchandise store in the known universe. We have a whopping couple of things, but that includes these iron-on stitched patches that are parodies of famous clothing brands. Collect them, stick them on things, whatever. They are great, supplies are limited. Gnoggin.net. So first, what do we know about the symbol in the game? Well, we see it on one of the player characters' outfit, the sporty-looking one, as he walks into what looks to be a stadium. We see these stadiums all over the region map, as they are either the gyms, or are going to be the new thing replacing gyms. And all of these stadium gyms have this symbol all over it too. So whatever the gimmick is, it's going to be used in every single gym battle for sure. But is it only going to be used there? That's very well a possibility, but not the only one. Maybe it will be like how the previous games treated their gimmicks, where there almost always is a Z-move or a Mega Evolution at a gym, but there still can be some outside of it. So I have a few possible ideas and interpretations of this symbol, and let's start with one that I proposed a few videos back when covering the reveal trailer. If this new thing is only in stadium battles, well, what's special about a stadium battle? What's different? Well, there's a super huge audience now. Pokemon Let's Go had small audiences watching the gym battles, and before then, we didn't really have anyone watching besides maybe the couple of people that you battle beforehand. But now, suddenly, it's just like how the anime treats the Pokemon League. A huge, televised event, like soccer or football. It's big, and perhaps the battle being displayed to so many is the driving force behind the new gimmick. The audience can cheer. And cheer they do. Pika, Pika, Pikachu! Pika, Pika, Pikachu! Text pops up. The audience cheers for Pikachu. Pikachu's morale was boosted. Its attack and special attack rose. Or perhaps defense and special defense. Your opponent's defense and special defense rose. It's a Pokemon morale system. It would be an interesting addition that adds a whole new layer of depth to the single-player campaign. And maybe even a special mode in Versus. No more do you just click the one attack that does the most damage over and over again until you win. Now, specific moves might combo into one another and have specific effects. Effects that you can use to get more of the audience on your side. Kind of like contests. And having the audience on your side means you get free stat boosts. The more of them that are on your side, the stronger the stat boosts are. You gotta impress the audience with your style. Brute forcing your way through these stadium gym battles can still work, but it's not as easy. Something like this would add an extra layer of strategy and much desired difficulty, like Totem Pokemon, but a whole new level. As fighting against the trainers before the gym leader, you start with even morale. The fight against the stadium gym leader, they start off with a home team advantage, and the audience is fully on their side at the very beginning. Though this idea for the gimmick only takes into consideration the gyms becoming stadiums and the fact that the symbol is all over the gyms, it doesn't really take into account the symbol itself. Why are there 3 spinning dots then? And that's why, while I think that would be a super interesting gimmick, it's not entirely likely. However, the next possibility is based solely on the 3 spinning dots. Could we be seeing a return of triple battles? Perhaps. but with a new kind of triple battle. Back in Generation 5, we were introduced to triple battles. Each trainer would send out 3 Pokemon at a time, and there would be subsets of triple battles too. There's regular triple battles, where it's just 3v3, and rotation triple battles, where you would have 3 Pokemon out, but only one of them would attack at a time, and you could rotate your 3 when you wanted as a free action. These types of battles were removed from Sun and Moon because the 3DS could barely handle them in X and Y, with the 3D models all on screen at once, and because they wanted the trainer to be visible on screen while battling, so adding more Pokemon on top of that would have made the game run around 4 frames per second. But now, on the Switch, that's not an issue. There is so much more power on that thing than the 3DS. And you can tell from up-close shots of the models that most of the models are the same as the 3DS models of Pokemon. Granted, the Pokemon models in those 3DS games had way more polygons than they needed for the 3DS. Likely, just so that they could reuse them later on the Switch and they not look terrible. Essentially, they were future-proofing. Now then, this makes the spinning dots in the circle easy to understand. It's 3 Pokemon rotating around. But would they really bring back an old battle style and hype it up as the new big thing this time around? No. So there's gotta be something different. What if then, it's rotation battles, but the 2 Pokemon in the back can still do things? But not in the, it's just 3 Pokemon battling way either. No, what if they change position and posture? Offensive and defensive positions. Sword and Shield. 2 Pokemon play defensively, and 1 offensively. Or even the other way around, if you so choose. Sword and Shield. You want a glass cannon in front being buffed and defended by 2 tanks in the back? Do you want to have 2 offensive Pokemon in the front dealing massive damage while the 1 defender does its best? Do you want to rotate them around as you please to play mind games on your opponent? Maybe positioning will play a super important role in this new battle mode, as your Pokemon must work together and battle as highly coordinatedly as they can as a team. Again, just like soccer. And these stadiums look like soccer fields, and soccer was invented in the United Kingdom. So this new type of team battle would work excellently, not just as an interesting new mode that changes how you play entirely, but it also fits well into the theming of the region, and it would work well as the main story arc in the anime. Ash needs his Pokemon to work together in a much more coordinated way than they ever have before, leading to some flashy and well-choreographed battles. Another possibility, though, is the rumored Armored Evolution, which would be functionally similar to Mega Evolution. It adds stuff to the Pokemon and raises their base stats. While Kalos went down the supposedly more natural route of increasing Pokemon's own power, Galar went down the technological way of man, and plated their Pokemon to even the playing field once again. France and England have historically always hated each other, and have gone to war constantly. Theoretically, this was the Kalos War 3,000 years ago, and while the firing of the ultimate weapon created all the Megastones to scatter around Kalos, Galar needed something new to combat all these Megas. They got Megas now? That's not fair! And considering all of the technological cities and steampunk cities and all the other things that I'll bring up in the next Gen 8 prediction video, the theme of nature versus man arises again, and they toughen up their Pokemon with armor. But this new symbol doesn't exactly scream Armored Evolution. But then again, this diamond doesn't exactly scream finisher move either, and this weird swirly blop doesn't say new evolution. So this could be what makes the new armor. Maybe because armor can be unique and prioritize either offense or defense. Those two are represented by the different colors, and the armored Pokemon is able to switch between the two, either whenever, kind of like Aegislash, switching between offensive and defensive poses. Oh my words, Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's the Sword and Shield Pokemon! Or every Pokemon that has an armored evolution, you can either choose to have it be more defensive or offensive, and it just depends on the item you give it. Ooh, what if in the gym battles you can have offensive or defensive poses during the battles? You know, you can shout out secondary commands like, use this attack and then go into defensive pose! Or, use rest, but be offensive about it. That was a terrible example. Stat-changing poses is what I mean. Again, like Aegislash, except every Pokemon can do it. So Aegislash would be kinda useless. Though I do worry that that would make it more complicated than what Game Freak would like. But then again, That's what Let's Go was for. They removed all the complicated stuff so that they can have an entry-level Pokemon game. So perhaps now in the next main game, they can start getting more complex and interesting. But that also starts delving into more serious, less speculative discussions. Do we really want more throwaway gimmicks? Do Megas in one gen? Never touch it again. But leave it in because some people like it. It's legacy. Same with Z-moves. Do it for a gen, never add new ones again. But leave it in because some people like it. It's legacy. And the overall meta starts getting flooded. Every team just becomes, you got your Z-move user, you got your Mega, you got your Armored Evolution, you got your Crazy Legendary, and you got Amoonguss and Landorus. And an Incineroar to counter every single Amoonguss, because everybody has an Amoonguss. But you also need a Pokemon to counter that Incineroar, which there is a perfect one, and that's the one everyone has, because it counters the... It's just getting ridiculous at this point, you know? But if Game Freak doesn't add something new, they are going to be accused of stagnating. I mean, they already are being accused of stagnating. But if they remove old gimmicks that they don't want anymore, either now or in the future, people will complain about that too. There really is no winning. More often than not, I see people wanting something drastic to happen with the base battle system, more so than just add in another throwaway gimmick that they'll only add or do anything with for a single generation. But then again, a change too drastic is too risky for these guys. There's like no balance. Besides maybe having this new battle system be used only in the stadium gyms. And optional post-game. Well, whatever it ends up being, I'm excited for it. Ooh! I'm not super sure if that symbol actually points to this or not, but I would love some 6v6 Pokemon battles where the positioning plays a super important role. Again, like a whole sports team. Pokemon next to each other boost each other's stats, especially if they are of a similar type or egg group or something. Pokemon can take attacks aimed at others. Oh, jump in the way to block it because I have a better HP. Oh man, it's just a big team thing. That's what I want. Never before has a non-spin-off Pokemon game been on a system capable of running that. So it'd be a great way to show off the Switch's possibilities some more.
After all, at the moment they need all the help they can get. Pokemon is the last game showing off the power of the Switch.
Don't get us wrong. Pokemon doesn't need to have pristine graphics.
It's not like they even could afford to do that. It's just the most money-making franchise in the world.
You aren't going to drop this, are you?
I take jabs where I can make them.
Anyway, what do you think of this new symbol? Which of those ideas presented sounds the best to you? Let me know down below, as well as if you have any other ideas for it. Because there's probably tons. It's going to be hilarious if, like, no one's been right at all yet. You know? If it's just something completely different. That'd be great. So until next time, you never stop using your noggin. There's a merch store in the description, and you can also just type it in, noggin.net. Check it. Woo!